जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम
Sri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Om 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 Sri Rama Jai Rama जय जय राम ओम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम ओम
Shri Ram.
They have come from Delhi. Datta knows them, Swami. These two will want
Seri,
them.
seri, seri. Okay. Today morning they were searching in for that.
Correct, sir. I told them like you. Shri Ram, Ram.
Shri Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram Jai Ram
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Yesterday we were trying to travel with Papa, no? Mentally we were trying to travel with Papa and to get ourselves kindled with so many things which he has given us over the last so many years. It will all give us a push in our spiritual journey, 100%. Every now and then it fades from our memory. Satsang offers an opportunity for us to revive it, to renew it, to rekindle. And that is why yesterday he prompted us, because we have been dwelling on the various aspects of spiritual journey intellectually. So suddenly the prompting comes. Whatever words the Papa has brought it out, it has come out only from his experience, not a textual knowledge. So when we take a trip with him, Mangalore to Mangalore, no? The first, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Sit down, Ashokji. So when we take up a trip with him, it will give a boost. So we went through the 34 boards. Today we will again go through that, something of it. Yesterday, during our recap about contents in 10 boards, 10 boards were mentioned by many people. So today we will see whether it comes to 20, Vittal Rao, as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas was known before embracing sannyas, was struggling in the whirlpool of worldly life until he was lifted up by the indwelling infinite power. He felt that he was called by the divine to leave his cocooned life of severe limits and fling himself into the vast open sky of limitless infinity. From 1920 to 1922, he was passing through most stressful period. That is all, to bring out the saint in him. Later on we understand. So Vittal Rao, who was leading an ordinary householder's life, who was trying to make both ends meet through his profession, that dyeing, textile. So he was passing through severe stressful period when he knew that he is totally helpless. He cried. He appealed. And then the cry was heard, and from that moment onwards, he was becoming aware of the guidance that was coming from within. He started chanting God's name and slowly withdrawing himself from mental involvement from so many activities initially, and that started giving him relief. And then 27th December, he was prompted to leave everything and then left That was the instrumental cause for the transformation from Vittal Rao to Ramdas and later to Swami Ramdas. For some maybe newcomers, so for them we were repeating this. So that is the background. With that background, we will go through again. Vittal Rao, as beloved Papa Swami Ramdas was known before embracing sannyas, was struggling in the whirlpool of worldly life until he was lifted up by the indwelling infinite power. He felt that he was called by the divine to leave his cocooned life of severe limits and fling himself into the vast open sky of limitless infinity. This was his first long journey as a mendicant, traversing from the deep south to the far north, entirely relying on the indwelling reality, alone, every day, every step, every breath. So from Mangalore, Papa Swami Ramdas's endless struggles in his mundane life, resulting in utter helplessness, led his advent into the world as a mendicant. He heard the inner voice of God. This is the first point, We are all aspirants or devotees. We also have a concept about God. We have defined an ideal before us. And God is leading us. But whether we are hearing His voice, is very important for all of us. So the word is, he heard the inner voice of God. Those of you who remember, even the specific word is there. What was that? Trust me. Despair not, trust me. That was the voice from the great void, So he heard that voice. So he heard the inner voice of God. So we have to now again intensify our Ramnam and say, though you are guiding me, leading me, protecting me, I am not aware. Again, my sense of individuality feels I am doing it. I am doing Ramnam, I am doing sadhana. And I want to know you. Even after so many years or decades, this is the attitude we have. We are all doing sadhana. But we feel we are doing the sadhana. Because we have not still heard his voice. When his father came from Udupi, because when the family members were alarmed about that apparent indifference of Papa to his worldly duties. So when he asked Papa, son, what happened to you? You all remember, Ram makes him to chant. So he heard the inner voice of God. So many things come to our mind. So we have to keep on praying. You are leading us, you are guiding us. But still my mind feels I am doing it. You are still not there in the picture. Even when Ramnam is going on, if we are not aware that he is behind it, how are we to extend it to so many of our activities? Is it clear?
Yes, Swami.
ഇത് വേണമെന്നില്ലേ?
Mangalore. No, now it comes from there. That time they can see you also. This also.
One doubt. Before all this, Papa sincerely cried. He was in a
Heart
serious
cry.
state and heartfelt cry was there. So that is the starting point of everything. Before that, if you don't do a heartfelt cry,
Correct.
then how we can hear his voice?
Start thinking.
So we have to apply ourselves to
Right. Swami Ramdas's endless struggle in his mundane life, resulting in utter helplessness, led his advent into the world as a mendicant. He heard the inner voice of God. So that is okay. We have not been pushed to that extent, but at least when he made us to chant Ramnam, when he made us to feel that we are doing sadhana, to realize him, to feel his presence, we still feel the sense of individuality is doing everything. I did so much Ramnam, I did this, I did that. That is why Mataji in one of her messages said, transform the first person to second person. You are making me to chant. This is very important. Even if we forget everything, if this comes to us, it will help us a lot. That is why Papa added this word. You are chanting the name of one who is within you, who is making you to chant. So when we chant, Papa wants us to have this dimension. So he heard the inner voice of God. So this is something on which we have to keep on thinking, Why are you not making me aware that you have prompted me to take up this? You gave me a long rope, and with that I started identifying everything as me, and now you made me to know that you are behind this, but still to get out of the cocooned life, where I feel me and mine. I am unable to get out of it. It was like a plank thrown towards a man struggling for very life in the stormy waves of a raging sea. These are his words. The voice of Ram. Because that was the plank on which he built up his entire spiritual journey. In his case, he was blessed with this awareness. So we are just now looking back. You have not made me aware of that, though you are behind this. Please. Now I know that is why I am doing outwardly so many things with all sincerity, with all earnestness. But still this fundamental one, I have not fine-tuned. That whatever is done by you only, whatever is talked, whatever is thought is done by you only. So kindly make me aware that you are behind every word, every thought, every deed. On 27th December 1922, at 5 o'clock in the morning, he left Mangalore by train, by bidding farewell to a world for which he had lost all attraction and in which he could find nothing to call his own. Body, mind, soul, all were laid at the feet of God. Here also one important word, Bidding farewell to a world for which he had lost all attraction. Have I lost all attraction to this thing? I am asking myself, On 27th December 1922 at 5 o'clock in the morning, he left Mangalore by train, by bidding farewell to a world for which he had lost all attraction and in which he could find nothing to call his own. A gentle way of bringing vairagya, no? Same word, I just wanted to check up. At 5 o'clock in the morning, he bade farewell to a world for which he had lost all attraction, in which he could find nothing to call his own. These words we cannot replace, that's why yes. A very important word for all of us. Inner voice of God, number one. Number two, so hearing the inner voice of God, that itself is the great kripa of God. And the whole, the spiritual journey, God gave him the turn, from the common run of life to this turn, by making him aware of God's voice. That is why he could do it in 2 years' time, because he was not doing it now. And second important thing is to get it stamped. He was prompted to leave everything. Not out of any ritual, not out of anybody's command, but purely out of the conviction that nothing is his own. That means he knew the life was actuated by God himself, and therefore he knows what is to be done and what is not to be done, and ours is to go according to his will 100%. Even if we were leading a family life, professional life, social life, now Papa is giving us a clue, not that we have to run away from any field, but we should know God has drafted or assigned us that particular vocation. Then the burden is not ours, the burden is his. Body, mind, soul, all were laid at the feet of God. So 3 messages from this first one board. One is the inner voice of God. Second is he lost all attraction for so some sort of vairagya, some sort of withdrawal. Only through that withdrawal one can turn towards him. And free from not only relations but possession also. Nothing to call as his own. And then body, mind, soul, all were laid at the feet of God. And from there we move to Srirangam. Passing through Erode and Trichy, Papa was guided to the banks of Kaveri, where he renounced all that he was holding dearly, including his name Vittal Rao. For him, sannyas was like being lifted by the divine from the narrow pond of a worldly life and thrown into the extensive ocean of a universal life. In the previous one, one quotation was there, that was also important. A seeker's likes and dislikes, favours and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. It's a clear-cut indication to all of us now. Why is it that we have not been able to move forward? A seeker's likes and dislikes, favours and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. That's what he did. did not allow the mind to prioritize anything else, no? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam. A seeker's likes and dislikes, favours and prejudices, rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities. They set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. Because the other one, all these things are because of the cocooned life, me and mine. He should have the courage, to throw himself out. The first board 3, inner voice, withdrawal, non-identification with anything, whether it is relatives or possessions. And he was able to identify what is the roadblock. It is one's own likes and dislikes, rights and wrongs, so many. So he should get out of it and throw himself out. Then we move to Srirangam. Passing through Erode and Trichy, Papa was guided to the banks of Kaveri, where he renounced all that he was holding dearly, including his name, Vittal Rao. For him, sannyas was like being lifted by the divine from the narrow pond of a worldly life and thrown into the extensive ocean of a universal life. So what is sannyas?
It throws a lot of lights on it, including the name. So much we hold on to our name. We hold on to our name so much.
அதேந்து விட முடியறதில்லையே. Because this was the heart's cry. Narrow pond, Now from the narrow pond of a worldly life, Ram had lifted up his slave to throw him into the extensive ocean of a universal life. From the narrow pond of a worldly life, Ram had lifted up his slave to throw him into the extensive ocean of a universal life, where the me and mine is totally absent. Individual life, universal life. And his quotation, sannyas is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. That means dedication to Him, to the Lord. Not any social service, not any discipline as we have conceived, no. It's a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. So to remember Him, whatever I do becomes the sadhana, and I serve all. That is sannyas according to him. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart. It is not that somebody suggests. or somebody is prompted from outside. Sannyas is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration rising from within our own heart.
Swamiji, whether Grasa can also rise to that standard?
Yes, it's possible, There are many.
Yes.
Many. But to develop this mental attitude, it's a little tough. So unless and until, we do some extra overtime work.
Yes.
Because I would like to practice it in my own field, but because of my old habits, I may not be able to resist the pull.
Yes.
So even when we are in our relative field, we can do so provided we withdraw for some time. And then try to go through an orientation course. That is why the spiritual institutions came into being for that mission. People are going there. Why are they going? They want peace. But unfortunately, their definition of peace is not taking them to the eternal peace, about which they are also not aware, that's all. That is why Mataji used to say, this is a school, Anandashram is a school. You are coming here only to learn universal love and service. Suppose we take it as a casual visit to ashram, spend a few days here, and then go back. It gives you relatively some peace. Yes. But it will not last long. That's the blunt truth. Unless
maintained, we can. If it is maintained, we can.
If it is maintained when we are here,
yes,
then you find a technique how to become impervious, when you go out to all the pulls. I must have that insulation here, no?
Yes.
So every time when we come here, one step we should move forward.
Yes.
Because God has not given the freedom for many people to have everything in one go. So we learn it through installments. But every visit to ashram should enable us to go deeper into Papa's teachings and then go along with the disciplines here like Ramnam, Bhajan, Satsang. If it is at the superficial level, the joy also will be at the superficial level. But every visit, suppose, gives us some awakening, some insight. Then at the next line. So before I come next time, I must have something. That would push me from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3. Think.
Yes, Swami.
So spiritual institutions have come only for this purpose. Otherwise, where will you go? And he also gives you some instrumental cause by which you are attracted to a particular institution. Either you hear about that Mahatma, or you happen to see him, or you happen to read his teachings, or you happen to hear somebody getting some solace or peace after he came. That is the instrumental cause. We are looking back to our own, In 1963, at the time of the 10th year Chinmaya Mission celebration, Swami Chinmayanji Maharaj made a moving reverence about Shivanji Maharaj and Papa Swami Ram. In 64 we came here. Some instrumental cast, We were here only for 2 or 3 days or something like that. Even for the next so many years.
You repeat, uncle.
Dedication of our entire being to service of the Lord.
Dedication of our entire being to the service of the Lord.
So that we have to, whenever we come to ashram, better late than never, na? Now we will make it a point that we are going there. It's a school. Puja Mataji's word is it's a school. And the curriculum or the syllabus is universal love and service. Let us be clear about it, no? We are not going there for any other purpose. Later on, we become grateful to the founder saints, because if he has not set up the saint, how will I go? Or the guiding masters there. But our first and foremost thing is, when we are drawn to a school or a college, your whole idea is, I should get this degree, I should get this, I should get that. Later on, the teacher impresses you, but because your mind is fully prioritized with the ideal to be scaled, you will never dilute. In our case, it is not so. We concentrated upon the saints. We did not try to hear what they said. So when we are asked whether we can attain the same thing in Papa's case, he did not go to any institution. He did not go to any spiritual preceptor.
So it was intuition.
Everything, because he had handed over the whole thing to God right from the beginning.
Yes.
In our case, we have not. So for that, we find now there are many institutions. He will make some instrumental cause for us to get connected with those institutions. So God has prompted so many saints to come to this earth, and then they have set up so many institutions. They have verified it, and they give out their revelations. So when we go there, we are not concentrating upon the saint, we are concentrating upon the saint's teachings. Passing through E Road and Trichy, Papa was guided to the banks of Kaveri, where he renounced all that he was holding dearly, including his name Vittal Rao. One more lesson he teaches. That he was not tradition bound, If we go by the tradition, why Shankaracharya also laid certain traditions, Because at that time, somebody shared this in one of their discourses, that so many people were taking sannyas and so many leading sadhakas like sannyasi's life, and there was utter confusion at that time. So he wanted to codify everything and then set up this Dashanami Samskar. So that is how the tradition came because of that. But at the same time, if we go through his own Nirvana Shadgam, where he says for the ultimate, nothing is the absolute. Na punyam, na pabam, na saukyam, na dukkam, na mandram, na tirtam, na vedam, na yajnam. Pitaneva meneva matana janmam na bandhu na mitram gururnaiva shishya. Chitananda rupam shivoham shivoham. Though he set up all these traditions, he has also mentioned this.
Swamiji, but we need a guru to say that.
We know, no, Papa's clear cut, He was not bound by any. There are many, not only Papa. Sri Anandamaya.
Simple thing, this poster you put up 1 year before.
Huh?
1 year before you put up the poster, but something told you that we have not understood. And you started it again. So we need a guru.
No, we don't say Guru is needed. Because even when Papa said, there is no need for an intermediary to know that we need him, no. That is accepted. We need somebody to interpret.
Swamiji, Guru.
But we should not get stuck there.
Kakai lago upai.
Huh?
Bhajan, Kabir Bhajan is telling.
In Kabir Bhajan, in that famous, Moko kaha. There in every.
Kakai lago upai.
But have we understood? That is important now. Literal meaning we have understood. But we are trying to understand now that Papa's life was far, far, far above all these things. So why don't you make me? You have given me so much. Why don't you make me to become aware of what you have given? This is what we are earnestly praying now. When you are again and again and again putting us on the same, today when we were about to come, Chandrananji asked, what is the topic? Yesterday's topic. Because we have not moved an inch. So sannyas, like being lifted by the divine from the narrow pond of a worldly life. Very, very important, Forget about all these sannyas, changing of the color, changing of anything. Are we trying to move from the individual life to the universal life? That means where my likes and dislikes, rights and wrongs, preferences, priorities do not dominate. And we always think in terms of universal, not in terms of individual. We may change the dress, we may get a new name, we may be leading a different type of life apparently. But these likes and dislikes, rights and wrongs, preferences, priorities, self-assertion, whether all these things are in me, that I have to check up, We have also seen people with the same dress, all these qualities. You don't have to go anywhere. Did Mataji change her name? Did Mataji change her dress? Did Mataji officially disown her family? No. But how she could scale to the mother of all, universal? What proof we need? At least in Papa's case, for 10 years probably he was wearing the soccer robe. No, not 10 years. 5 or 6 years.
Which year?
But he did not change his name. Ramdas was continued there. He had explained why he changed it to white also. Everything is clear. But in Mataji's case, who is the Adhisthana Devata of this ashram? So we don't have to go for any other proof. Ramana Bhagavan, did he change his name? Did he wear the ochre robes? Sri Anandamaya? Like that, so many are there, no? But they were very clear, from the individual life to the universal life. From the me and mine to he and us. So sannyas is a dedication of our entire being to the Lord and His service. It is a spontaneous wave of aspiration, not a product of a thought,
So, poster number 4, the one point would be internal sannyas.
Internal?
Internal sannyas would be internal.
And sannyas is defined, Better we remove the word sannyas and say individual life to universal life. That would be the best interpretation. Otherwise, the mind will get caught in the dress, in the tradition, in the so many things, and we get stuck there. But if you are very clear, sannyas stands for anything that elevates us from the individual to the universal level. Then from Srirangam to Rameshwaram Dhanushkodi. Throwing himself entirely at the feet of God, Papa travelled wherever he was guided to, with an empty pocket, just 2 clothes and a few books, all his possessions in the world. Hurdles did not hold him back. He managed to find something positive in every experience. Where others found prickly thorns, he saw fragrant roses. Empty pocket. Just 2 clothes and a few books. Parimiti Parigraham. This is the message for us. Limited possessions, Whatever is basically needed, absolutely needed. We can't be zero, accepted. But we can reduce the possession.
Less luggage, more comfort.
Yeah. So we have to now write, and look at it every day. Have I been able to mentally detach from my possessions? How do we know? Whether when you part with somebody, do you feel any reservation? Subtle reservation. You are holding it only for somebody to take it. Otherwise, it is only we are reading the history,
Yes.
It is there, less luggage, more comfort. Who applies it? Even today, when you go to the train, you can find so many people carrying big luggages, It stays at the intellectual level.
Yes. Yes.
Even that suitcase which we are unable to lift and put it in the loft, we need somebody else to help us. Yeah. Even after seeing that we are inconveniencing others, we are not trying to reduce the possession even for a small trip. To us, they are all necessities, not comforts or luxuries. Have we been able to bring down this? No? This is the first step, Otherwise, it will look like that railway board. Less luggage, more comfort, makes travel a pleasure. Nice to read, nice to reproduce. But nothing to do with me.
Yes.
Because when we carry a small baggage, we don't have to trouble others. It will not occupy the space which can be used by others. This is called individual to universal. Na? How do we understand? Minimum for the individual, maximum for the universal. So for that we have to limit our possessions. Each board is telling us so many things, Papa. Papa travelled wherever he was guided to with an empty pocket, just 2 clothes and a few books. And he says clothes and books, no? So few books means that also you know, no? Srimad Bhagavad Gita, New Testament, Gandhiji's books, some maybe. Light of Asia, whether he was carrying, that we don't know. Because this we can understand. Bhagavad Gita, small book. New Testament was a small book. Gandhiji's books also must be very light. He was guided by Light of Asia. Anyway, he did not mention, and a few books only. Anyway, that is okay. We don't get stuck with the technicalities. So that means, books that keep on inspiring us. Along with two clothes, that is barest minimum we can have. The message is like that, we take it like that. And books means it is a storehouse of wisdom, knowledge. Wisdom by people who have travelled and which is a source of perennial inspiration. When we expose ourselves, there is every likelihood that this hammering is to be done. So Papa took with him. Every now and then there will be something there. So the message for all of us is Parimiti Parigraham, limited possessions, and also in that possession we will somehow try to carry something that always puts us on the God dimension, God thought. Next line, hurdles did not hold him back. He managed to find something positive in every experience. Where others found prickly thorns, he saw fragrant roses. We also see the rose. In our anxiety to possess it, we rush up and hold, and the thorns prick us. All our attention toward the flower is gone, no? Because you have to now manage with the thorn, the wound, the pain. But here, though the thorns are there, he was able to see, life is a mixture of these two. It is for us to see the rose. If we concentrate on the rose, what experience we get? If we concentrate on the thorns, what experience I get? If I see thorns and rose, what experience I get? Think. Hurdles did not hold him back. He managed to find something positive in every experience. That is the message for us. Apparently, there may be a negative, but he was able to see the positive. Where others found prickly thorns, he saw fragrant roses. Optimism leads you Godward, while pessimism pushes you down to the morass of skepticism, despair, and woe. We have shared this many a times in this satsang, but again it is coming back for the sake of those who are hearing it. One day when Swamiji, Chinmayanji was going after the Yajnashala, he got into the car. So somebody rushed up and said, Swamiji, tomorrow is the New Year's Day. What is your message? Immediately, spontaneously came. Get going. That is the program. आगे चलो. Get going. No?
Get going. Yes.
It gets stamped in our heart because no, don't halt anywhere. Move, move, move. No? Optimism. Something may be there to hold us, but we try, okay, it's all right, I will move forward. I have to move forward. Optimism leads you Godward. So, board number 6, yeah. But 3 boards, at least we will try to go through it again intensely, So, the first board,
Intense prayer.
we should try to hear his voice. Because that is the foundation from which we can build up. We must, he is talking to us in the form of our thoughts, but we are possessing that thought, we are owning that thought. And identify ourselves with as the author of the thought. But as spiritual aspirants now, we know it is coming from him, coming from him, coming from him. That is the first stage. And then second,
Vairagya Swamiji. Vairagya, withdrawal. Withdrawal.
No, that is right. Correct. Mentally, we try to detach ourselves from any possessions and relationship. Because when we started this Laukika journey itself, this worldly life itself, even if I am not in a position to understand from the seed level to the newborn level, okay, that we later only will. But now from there, suppose we start, we have not brought anything. It is clear to us. We came in the nirvana state. Absolutely nothing. Even the next second when I need air, I have not brought any oxygen cylinder with me. No other creature comfort. Not the basic things like air, water, space, fire, earth, my body. I have not done anything. So this is where I started. If I remember that, he has been providing everything to me. They won't hear?
As of now, they are hearing from you. Now it is going. Connected. This is connected.
Signal is don't depend upon anything external, no?
It is connected only, but why it is not showing?
So you put it Anandashram, no? At least they will.
Today is Saturday, no?
No.
Friday.
Friday, yeah.
One more day.
You tell Sino to meet us because we will see there won't be any.
It is Wi-Fi is coming. It was there now. It is there.
Mm, 4:30. Okay. We'll come back tomorrow. First and second and third. You see how much time? Tomorrow we will briefly put it in writing so that. Okay.
Just come, Swami.
Okay. So first board talked about the inner voice
Withdrawal.
and
Swamiji, it is mute.
a conscious effort on our part to detach ourselves from the relations as well as the possessions.
Anandashram is mute. We can't hear.
Mute,
One
mute.
second, we are now you can tell someone that
Yes,
mute.
yes.
So, and then we also try to remember how we started. When we started the journey, we did not bring anything. There was no planning. There was no sense of how will I manage? No. You are plunging into an altogether different life. But you did not. What was it that made me free from planning? Insecurity was not there. Whether I will get water, whether I will get air, no such thing was there. We may feel that it is because we were ignorant, because of our innocence. Okay, whether it is ignorant or innocence, you came in, There was a total surrender later on we come to realize there was a total surrender on our part to a power who actuated the whole journey, about which I was not aware, agreed. But the truth is I did not bring anything, no luggage. Even I did not plan, I did not worry how will I come out of my mother's womb. Just imagine. How he set in motion a series of processes. If we closely analyze, and think about it more and more, whatever precautions we take now, we have to do it. Only thing is we should add the word, he prompts us to take precaution. At that time, he did not prompt us to do anything, and he looked after us. When he gave us a sense of individuality, slow reason, he also gave us this, do this and do not do this. Viveka, discrimination he gave. He gave us a lot of creativity vested in us that he wanted to touch and kindle and bring it out. All those things are because of some prompting. So we should know that he has prompted, he has kept everything, he is doing everything. Keep on analyzing, So then why should I think of looking after everything by myself? When he has been taking care of me all these years, even when you made me to become a grihastha, even you made me to become a professional, even you made me to become a social being, I was thinking that I am providing things for me. But now I slowly realize only you are there. First as a life force, second as the awareness, third as the intelligence. To prompt me from stage to stage. Whenever I violate, whenever I forget, you make me to pay for it so that I will learn. So our teacher is our own experience. Our teacher, preceptor is our own experience. We don't need any other guidance. If we look back our life, we find how we have been led. Whenever he made us to forget or to not to become aware of these spiritual laws, he made us to pay. Physical law, when we violate, he makes us to play. So that means he has been guiding, whether I accept it or not, whether I hand over the responsibility to him or not. The truth is that he is there, he has been there. When that becomes clear, I will be free from attachment. So the first. So a seeker's likes and dislikes, favours and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. Okay. Kindly do that for the 3 boats. Tomorrow we will meet again. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Pranam, pranam. Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Namaskaram, namaskaram. Oh, you are right. Constitutional day. Very important for all citizens. I